we're ranking the best small forward from every team in the NBA this season. Make sure you check out the ranking videos for the other positions on my channel if you haven't already, and stay subscribed so you can see the power forward and center rankings when those come out too. But as for now though, we're mainly looking at the starters for each team, and we're gonna assume that everyone's healthy. But even with that, I was surprised to realize just how many bad starting small forwards there were in the league. So we're gonna go ahead and go through the first 10 extremely quick because they're nothing special. And then we'll rank numbers 20 to number 1 like normal. So let's get into it. Number 30, the Pistons with Glenn Robinson III. Number 29, the Magic with Wes Iwundu. Number 28, the Nuggets with Torrey Craig. 27, the Grizzlies with Kyle Anderson. 26, the Pelicans with Wesley Johnson. 25, the Kings with Iman Shumpert. 24, the Rockets with James Ennis III. 23, the Knicks with Damian Dotson. 22, the Cavs with Cedi Osman. And 21, the Nets with Joe Harris. Now let's move on to the real list with number 20. The Hornets with Nicholas Batum. Batum has without a doubt turned into one of the most overpaid players in the league. When he played for the Blazers, he'd get them 15 a night, but was also an elite defender. And now he doesn't do either of those things. He's pretty much turned into a role player who gets about $22 million a year. And speaking of overpaid players, number 19, the Trailblazers with Evan Turner. Turner's been used as the Blazers' sixth man this year, so Jake Layman could start. Now neither one of these guys are great options, and Layman will probably be the more effective player when he gets more minutes, but as of right now the spot goes to Evan Turner. Number 18, the Miami Heat with Justice Winslow. The man's had potential to become a solid forward for the Heat. He's athletic and a good defender, but his shooting and his offensive game need the most work. It's his fourth year in the league, and he's averaging 40% shooting, 30% from 3, and 7 points a game on his career. So I don't see his ceiling being anything more than a solid role player in the league. 17, the Wizards with Otto Porter. Otto Porter came out last season and played pretty well. He averaged 14 and 6 on 50% from the field and 44% from 3, while being one of the Wizards' better defenders on the team. He was a great 3-and-D player for Washington last season, but hasn't had the same start this year. And with the Wizards open to trading their entire team, it doesn't look like he's going to be a Wizard for much longer. 16, the Suns with Trevor Ariza. By how much the Rockets are struggling as a team, and mainly at the small forward position this year without Ariza, tells us just how great of a player he is. He's one of the better 3-and-D players in the league today, and is a guy that'll do all the dirty work on defense that his team needs. And that's been his role in the Suns so far this year. 15, the Spurs with Rudy Gay. Last season, Rudy Gay came off the bench for the Spurs, but with how the roster's been looking this year, he's mostly been a starter. It's clear that he's past his prime now and he's turned into more of a role player, but still putting up 14 and 7 on the year. Number 14, the Pacers with Bojan Bogdanovic. Bogdanovic is definitely one of the more underrated players in the league and plays a big part in what makes the Pacers successful. We didn't know just how good of a defender this man was until he came up huge when guarding LeBron in the playoffs last year. Yeah, sure, they still lost, but he made a huge difference and is gonna again this year in the postseason. Oh, and right now he's shooting 52% from 3. Sure, that number is gonna go down eventually, but shooting that good 22 games into the season still says a lot. 13, the Bulls with Jabari Parker. The Bulls have faced a lot of injuries to start the season, so no one's really established at any position on the team yet, but for now we'll give the small forward spot to Parker, because Jabari's come out looking pretty strong on this team after a couple of injury-filled seasons. Now he's still not looking like a second overall pick, but he is looking better every game. Number 12, the Jazz with Joe Ingles. Ingles isn't a big-name star, but he's starting to play like one. In recent years, he's proven that he can come up big on defense, can make plays for his teammates, and has ended up being one of the better three-point shooters in the league. He's pretty quiet in the regular season, but definitely makes some noise when the playoffs come around. Number 11, the Hawks with Taurean Prince. Prince is a young player that still has huge potential, but his development as an NBA player hasn't gone exactly as planned. Because he was drafted with the idea of him turning into a good 3-and-D player that had great defense. But instead he's done the opposite and lost his touch on defense and has improved more on the offensive side. As an overall player though, he's got the size and athleticism to turn into a Robert Covington type player, but he needs to work on his shooting and get back to playing that solid defense again. Number 10, the Clippers with Danilo Gallinari. The Clippers have come out and been the biggest surprise so far this NBA season by being the first seed in the Western Conference 20 games into the year. And Gallinari's played a big part in that by having one of the best seasons of his career. Now he's had trouble in the past staying healthy, so he'll have to hope he doesn't get injured again this season, but so far he's putting up 18 and 6 on 42% shooting and almost 46% from 3, so hopefully he can keep this up. Number 9, the Timberwolves with Robert Covington. Covington's without a doubt one of the league's best 3-and-D players, and while he's never been a spectacular player on offense, last year he made the first defensive team, and he deserved it. That on top of the fact that the man has a solid all-around game is what ranks him so high on the list. And I think he fits in great with the Wolves, which is going to give him a chance to have one of the best seasons of his career. Number 8, the Mavs with Luka Doncic. Now Doncic and Harrison Barnes have been sharing the floor as small forwards to start the year, but we'll give the Mavs spot to Doncic for the video. Now I had doubts about how the man would translate to the NBA, but he's looked great so far. He's the front runner for the Rookie of the Year award, and has excelled in every aspect of his game. He's a great passer, shooter, and scorer that's putting up 19, 6, and 4 so far. Number 7, the Bucks with Chris Middleton. Now I didn't forget about Giannis, because he's been playing power forward this season while Middleton's taken over the small forward spot. So we had to give it to Middleton. And small forward seems like a much better fit for him anyways, considering his size and his skill set. Now it doesn't look like Chris is going to be taking his game to the next level this season like a lot of people thought that he would, but he's still having a good year. Number 6, the Celtics with Jason Tatum. Tatum's continuing to prove why he's got one of the brightest futures in the NBA. He may not really be able to do that though until the Celtics figure out how they're going to fix their roster. He started the year at power forward, but he just recently got moved back to his natural position in small forward. Either way though, Tatum's not a major star yet, putting up 16 and 6 so far this year. But after what he did in the playoffs last season, going head to head with LeBron and leading the Celtics to within 1 game away from the NBA Finals, Tatum definitely deserves to be ranked this high. Number 5, the Thunder with Paul George. Now we're finally getting into the elite small forwards of the league. PG-13 has continued to prove why he's a top 5 small forward by being an elite player on both ends of the court. He's putting up 24, 7, 4, and 2.5 steals a game right now. And he's a great fit alongside Westbrook that doesn't need the ball in his hands to find open looks and stay effective in the game. Number 4, the 76ers with Jimmy Butler. Now that Butler's on the 76ers, Philly looks like they have just as good of a chance as anyone to make it out of the East and into the NBA Finals, because they now have one of the best big threes in the league. Jimmy's going to be able to lead that team in the locker room and on the defensive end. But we just have to hope his attitude doesn't get in the way of things again this year. He hasn't played too many games with Philly so far, but he's already looking like he's a great fit on the team. And what ranks Jimmy this high above a guy like Paul George is the impact he makes on his teams. The Thunder haven't majorly improved any since PG-13 got there, but the Wolves went from a bad team to a playoff team with Butler, and now the 76ers have won 7 of the 9 games since making the trade for him. Number 3, the Raptors with Kawhi Leonard. Now small forwards are usually the league's best two-way players, and we've talked about some great ones in this video, but there's none that are better than Kawhi Leonard. Since moving to the Raptors, they've looked like a completely different team, and one that can honestly make a run if they make it to the finals this year. And Kawhi's gonna make a good run for the Defensive Player Award, but as for right now, Kawhi's shown just how much of an impact he has on a team, and the fact that it looks like he was exactly what the Raptors needed to take their whole team to the next level. Number 2, the Warriors with Kevin Durant. KD may never take over the spot as the best small forward and best player in the league if LeBron just never slows down, and if he doesn't leave the Warriors in free agency this year. So for now, he's still number 2. Number 1,
LeBron James.
LeBron's still the overall best player in the league, but it looks like this is going to be one of the last years we're going to be able to say that, because there's slowly becoming an argument against him being the best player. With KD having the option to change teams next season and prove himself, maybe, and Giannis continuing to develop every year. It looks like they're coming for his spot. But no matter what team he's played on, LeBron's played at such a high level for so many years, and is still putting up 28 a game. But his bad defense over the past couple of seasons have been the first sign of him actually slowing down. So things could change over the next couple of years, but as for now, LeBron's still number 1. Now, if you enjoyed the video, definitely comment down below and let me know. Comment anything you agree or disagree with, and make sure you stay subscribed to see the power forward and center rankings coming soon. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you next video.